you're going to have your that little bit, that straight radius line right there. That looks good. Let's work with that a few swings. Let's go get a beer. One of the things I noticed from behind you is you every once in a while you just come through and just do a pure swipe across this one, and it just goes glancing blow. That one was just really pure. That went a little further because it probably had 1 or 2 degrees of less loft at impact. You de-lofted it, correctly de-lofted it.
I noticed during the round that I was coming up short.
Yeah. You almost force a little slice swing when you set with that super angle at the beginning. Set a few more. Preset so you get really comfortable with that. So you're going to preset the handle forward. You almost visualize from the tip of your right shoulder down to the club. It's a straight radius. That's the radius of your golf circle right there. Perfect. Very nice. So you didn't have an athletic problem. You had a geometry problem. We're fixing the geometry. About that was good. Now, obviously, you would never choose that thinking unless you had developed confidence in the ability to execute and implement a hard swing. And you have to get that first on the range and out on the course. You would never choose, I'm going to swing it this hard just because some book says you should. You do it. I've really practiced this, and I am confident I can hit shots with my hard tempo, with my second gear. So you have to build the confidence with developing a history of success. Make sure, but we're still working on the new radius. That's the key. You forget everything today, but that's the thing that's the most important in what we're working on today is presetting the radius.
It feels so weird.
Just preset?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to make sure my shoulders don't open.
One of the things I really like about your swing is its tempo. You have a really smooth tempo. And I absolutely don't want you to ever lose that. And that's always going to be your go-to tempo. It's only these special shots that you would choose a non-standard tempo. It's another tempo. It's a strategic thing that you do, but it's not to ever replace the tempo you're showing me today. The one I saw last week too. I'll know when I look at the videotape when I get it home, but let me ask you, now that you're in a full swing mode?
I think with the other ones, it's more of a touchy swing.
Yeah, kind of finessing.
Yeah.
Is your backswing length the same here as it was there, but your downswing is more controlled up there and more go after it here? Do you think the backswing is about the same as far as the length? I'll know more when I'll be able to compare the two when I get there. I think you just
maybe threw the ball
more. Everything's on board here. Yeah. Nothing's held back. Yeah. Okay, this is the gear 2 then.
Yeah.
This is gear 2. Right on the left is your shot from about 70 yards, and on the right is when we backed up 17 yards further away. And I'd asked if. And you had hit both of these about the same place, even though you were further back on the right. And I was asking, did you feel like you were taking the same length backswing but just swinging down harder with the swing on the right, or were you taking a longer backswing? And we weren't, neither one of us were quite sure, but now that I've seen the video, it's pretty evident that you do take a little bit more backswing, but your hands are a little bit higher, a little bit more wrist cock, and that's why you get more distance. Your rate of acceleration is about the same. You're still a smooth, accelerating swing through the ball, but you are starting your downswing from further back, and therefore you're going to have more club head speed when you arrive at the golf ball. So you're using your same smooth, trained tempo, which is what I want. Very good. I like to experiment just a little bit.
Sure.
You almost had that played off your right foot. Typically, a lot of people would teach a driver that is a ball, put off the front hill. We don't teach ball position for wedges to be up there where the driver is. Typically, I like my wedges in the center of my swing. We're taking a look at your ball position for your wedges, and you can see how on the left, your ball position is up there by your heel. I flipped Tiger around so he's left-handed, and his ball position is more in the center of his stance, and that's pretty typical for most pros. They'll play their wedges more in the middle. Now we're looking at the change in the ball position on the right. So we've moved it back in your stance. I think it's done a lot of good things. I think you had a tendency to actually put too much weight on your front foot at the beginning. Typically, we talk about 55%, but because that ball was so far forward, I think you were putting 65%. I think you were almost over lean to the right. You look a little bit more stable and balanced, even though it's obvious you do have a little bit more weight on your front foot than your right foot. It's not overdone, because that ball is in a better position, that you can feel like you're covering the ball when it's more in the middle. And for wedge shots, you want to have a feeling that you're covering the ball with your chest a little bit to get more accuracy. And so that's just a much better setup on the right than it is on the left. That looks good. My belief is you will reduce the thin wedges with this ball position.
Yeah. It feels better.
Good. Very nice. So we're trying to stabilize the length of your radius so that it can't fluctuate during impact. So the impact is going to be returned every time. You're pre-measuring yourself with your address position. You're basically pre-measuring your impact spot. Very nice. That may be one of your better ones in just a simple little swing.
It felt good.
Very nice, Ryan.
What a big difference. But that's something we work on wedges, but it'll probably, for sure, help my iron game.
I think so. That's 3 very good hits. So we've made basically 2 adjustments. Preset the radius and move the ball back from your comfortable spot, and so you're just a little bit closer to the middle. It's a little to the forward side of middle, but that's good. You didn't have to be middle. I think what you found is fine. Let's just stay with what the last 3 were. Just repeat that. Very nice. Okay, what would you do to take about 5 yards off of that shot? I'd shorten the backswing.
Shorten the backswing.
You never want to decelerate these shots. You still want to have that little smooth acceleration, but from a shorter distance. Now these are the shots that you could experiment with more forward ball position if you thought you wanted to hit a little bit higher to cut some of the distance off. That would change the dynamic loft at impact. You need to learn 1,000 shots around the green. You only need to learn one swing from 150 yards, but that's the one right there. That had the right trajectory. You shortened your backswing, but you still had some acceleration.